Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 16, the finale. And I'm here with some predictions, actually, for the finale. I want to talk a little bit about that jaw-dropping moment that's going to be happening in the finale. And I drew up a list of all the things I think could happen. And I want to go through the list, talk a little bit about each one. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give my prediction. And I want you guys in the comments down below to let me know what you think about these predictions. And then which one you think it's going to happen. Or if your prediction isn't on my list, let me know in the comments down below what you think that jaw-dropping moment is gonna be. As we know, Comic-Con is coming up very shortly on the 24th, and we are going to be getting a premiere date on the 24th, or an air date I should say, for the finale. So hopefully it's going to be coming out pretty soon. So I thought right now would be a pretty good time to talk about some predictions for the finale. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get into it. So yeah, a bit of a recap in case you didn't know. So a couple of weeks ago, Greg Nicotero, the director for the finale, had an interview talking about how there was gonna be a jaw-dropping moment in the finale. Specifically, he said the last 2 minutes. So when he said the last 2 minutes, that was really interesting because it wasn't something that was already revealed. Like, it wasn't like Maggie returning or anything like that, because that was in the trailer. It's something that happens in the very last 2 minutes specifically, according to what he said. And again, I drew up a list of all the possibilities. I want to go through them and talk about them. So we're going to start off with my first one, which is Carol dying. Now, I didn't have a whole list of just like this character dying, that character dying. I didn't do anything like that, but I just picked one, and one character who I thought could possibly die, and one of the main characters at least, and that's Carol. Now, the reason I put Carol, I even like made a little note saying to talk a little bit about Daryl dying possibly, because basically they were pretty much teasing that in the finale there's going to be a moment like in the comics. If you're unaware, in the comics there's a moment that happens right now where the TV show is at, where a major character dies. Like, a major character dies. So there was a Q&A and somebody asked if that's something like that is going to happen on the TV show, and they pretty much said yes. I think like they put up like an emoji with a thumbs up or something. So yeah, they pretty much said like, yeah, something big like that's gonna happen. So when they said that, you know, a lot of theories about which main character is gonna die came up, and I put Carol dies, and then I put talk a little bit about Daryl possibly dying, because it's really up to, like, those two are the characters who I think are the safest, like Carol and Daryl. Like, I don't see either of them dying. But I just wanted to mention Carol, because if I had to pick one, I would probably pick Carol. Like, there's no way Daryl's gonna die. Like, I just don't see it happening. Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to even think Carol's gonna die. But if it has to be between Daryl or Carol, I don't know. I mean, that's so hard to decide. But let me just spoiler for the ending. This is not my prediction. this is just one of the predictions I wanted to talk about. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I wanted to mention it because it's been a pretty popular theory around the Walking Dead community. I've heard a lot of people say this. I've heard a couple of people say they think Daryl's gonna die, which is a possibility because the show has taken a turn. You know, it's not really predictable anymore, especially with the whispers. Like, the Pikes weren't predictable at all because it wasn't nothing like the comics. I mean, Sadiq dying was not very predictable because that doesn't happen in the comics. And I mean, Carl literally, you know, left the show for Sadiq to come on. You know, like, Carl died saving Sadiq. So, you know, like, I never thought they would kill Sadiq. I seriously thought like Sadiq would be like one, like, at least for a long time. It was only like 2 seasons, not even 2 seasons, like less than 2 seasons. But yeah, like, the point is, like, it's not very predictable anymore. So anybody could die. Let me know what you think about this theory. Do you think it's gonna be Carol or Daryl? But I mean, I don't think it's gonna be either of them, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably say like Carol, but I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alright, my next theory, which I talked a little bit about in the separate video, so I'm gonna cover it just because I think it's one of my predictions, and that's Maggie kills Negan. This would be quite jaw-dropping because Maggie is obviously very pissed off at Negan, and Negan is out of the cell now, so, you know, Maggie killing Negan could very well happen. And when I made that video, I have a video specifically talking about this on the channel if you want to go check it out, but a lot of people were thinking that this could happen because Maggie, you know, Rick isn't there anymore, Michonne isn't there anymore, and she just comes back and sees Negan out of the cell. what is she gonna think, you know? Unless people are writing her letters. And we know people are writing her letters, but were people mentioning in the letters that Negan is a good guy now? Like, I don't know if they would mention that. Maybe, but who knows? But let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Do you think Maggie's gonna kill Negan, or do you think that, you know, she'll maybe go for it, like maybe attempt to kill Negan, but he'll be okay? Something along those lines. Let me know what you think. Alright, the next possibility, or the next jaw-dropping moment, I should say, is the Commonwealth reveal. Now, we know that they probably will set up the Commonwealth, but when I write Commonwealth reveal, I mean more of like an epic reveal, where like at the end of this episode, we go near the base, and we see, like a big community filled with like tens and tens of thousands of people, sort of similar how Michonne's final episode ended, where they looked over the cliff and they saw like a gigantic like army of people, something like that, but instead it's gonna be like a community, something like that's what I sort of have an idea of what, you know, could possibly happen, because that would be really jaw-dropping if they just ended off with some like big, you know, community, like this is what's to come next. Like that'd be pretty crazy, right? So let me know what you think about that, but I do like this one. Alright, next we got some Rick news, which is what I think could be quite jaw-dropping. Like, imagine us getting some Rick news, like he's alive. We know he's alive, but like the characters finding out he's alive. Like maybe Michonne radios in and tells everybody about Rick. But I think what would make it jaw-dropping is if we actually hear Rick's voice, which could very well happen, because like if Michonne has reached Rick or something like that, like imagine us hearing Rick's voice in the radio, or maybe Michonne isn't even connected with it, maybe like we just hear Rick's voice in the radio. How epic would that be? That would be really jaw-dropping. Another idea with this could be like maybe Maggie knows that Rick is alive. Like when Maggie comes back, she tells everybody that Rick is alive, and you know, somehow Rick is connected with Maggie's group, which I still think, which I feel like it could work, but I still have this feeling that Rick and Maggie's group are separate. I think the CRM are like for the movies, and I think Maggie's group, that like Georgie and whatever we're going to next, I think that's the Commonwealth, and I think it's different. That's just my opinion, but maybe they're connected, because the Commonwealth is a huge group and the CRM is a huge group. I mean, how many giant civilizations are there remaining on The Walking Dead? So maybe they somehow know each other, which I think could very well happen. And then Maggie somehow finds out that Rick is alive and spreads that information. Like, that would be really cool. Imagine like she has a photo of Rick. I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of possibilities. But let me know what you think about this one. I do like this theory. I know the Rick theory, you know, hearing the voice in the radio has been going on since like season 9. Like, we thought that would be the finale with Eugene and his radio, and it could happen, because I mean, maybe it's on Eugene's end, because in the trailer we saw Eugene and, you know, his group, they're further out. Everyone else is dealing with the Commonwealth, or not the Commonwealth, excuse me, the Whisperers, but Eugene and them are going to look for Stephanie, which will lead to the Commonwealth. So maybe Eugene going further out, maybe he comes in contact with Rick. Imagine something like that. That'd be pretty cool. So the possibilities are all open. Again, let me know what you think about this one. Alright, and then next we have some character returning. And this specifically ties with that masked character that we have, because there's definitely a lot of mystery revolving around that character, and we don't know who it could be. And that would definitely be jaw-dropping if it's some like returning character. And I mean, there's a lot of characters out there that would be jaw-dropping. You know, like the 3 I wrote down on my paper was Morgan, Madison, and Heath. Like if it's them, it would be like insanely jaw-dropping. You know, so I mean, there's a lot of characters missing on The Walking Dead. So I mean, even if I think it's Dwight or Sherry or anybody on Fear the Walking Dead, it would be like jaw-dropping. So the possibilities of this one is really open. But that could really be, I think, something that could happen, because in the trailer it looked like that character was helping out Aaron and Alden, right? But chances are, like, maybe that character was helping out Aaron and Alden, but then they just run off or something like that, and maybe Aaron's calling like, hey, come back or something, and they just like help out and then they leave, or maybe they help out and then we don't see them again until the end of the episode, and then that's when they, you know, reveal their mask in front of everybody and it's some returning character. So Again, like the list of characters are endless. There's a lot of characters that it could be, and I think they're all pretty much jaw dropping. But the one specifically, like I think Morgan or Madison or Heath. I think Heath is a big one because he's been gone for so long. I mean, Madison would probably be like really cool because like by the looks of it, like we don't like she's gone from Fear the Walking Dead too. So who knows? Let me know what you think. If you do think this is the the thing that's gonna happen in the final 2 minutes, let me know which character you think it's gonna be. So that was the list that I came up with for the final 2 minutes of the episode. So my prediction, like if I had to pick one of these, I would probably go with the Commonwealth reveal. Like I really like all these other ones, but realistically, I think the Commonwealth reveal would be really jaw-dropping if we get into their community, because I mean the Commonwealth is like a community we have never seen before on The Walking Dead. They're not like the saviors who have like a bunch of people, but they're actually like not even like a community. They're like a civilization, and we haven't really seen something like that left on The Walking Dead. Like we've seen big groups, but nothing with what I'm sort of imagining how the Commonwealth will be like. I mean, even in the books, the comic books, it's a huge group, and if they can do something special with that on the TV show, I think it'll be awesome. So I think some sort of like reveal of the civilization would be my guess. But I really like all these predictions. Let me know in the comments down below which one you think it's gonna be. Do you think it's gonna be like Carol or Daryl dying? Do you think it's gonna be Maggie killing Negan? Do you think it'll be the Commonwealth reveal, some sort of Rick reveal, or like a returning character? Or maybe you think of something else that isn't on my list. I'm definitely interested to see what other people think, so let me know your predictions in the comments down below. As far as this video goes, I am gonna wrap it up there. Again, Comic-Con is very shortly. I have a lot of videos leading up to Comic-Con. I have a Q&A also. There's a post on the community section of my channel. If you want to leave a question, I'll be answering them in a video coming up pretty soon before Comic-Con. But yeah, like I said, I am gonna wrap it up there for this video, so hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating, and for more Walking Dead videos, be sure to subscribe. As always, please stay safe everyone, and I'll see you guys soon.